This is it. It's the last chapter, and then we've run out of chapters. Let me just double check. We've run out of chapters. There's only 25. We're done. We're donezo kabunzo, as a wise man once said. And then I'll give my vibes and feelings on this whole thing. But I will say I'm positive. Is it Inco noted? I don't know, man. It started off a little wibbly wobbly, and it's still a little wibbly wobbly with the whole Mia thing. But that really was just a Chekhov's gun catch-22 of like you can't make this work without doing a bunch of other extra work anyway. So. But for now, inherit his golden soul. Let's wrap this up, baby! Or, as true gamers say, Naktu, baby! Let's go. It seems like time always passes by so fast when you don't want it to. Olivia and I tried to make the most of the days leading up to the funeral. She took the time to really start hammering her way at the painting, and I've always been watching it steadily take shape, slowly turning into a fountain. It's going to be fucking gorgeous. I can already tell. It's been so long since I see that paint that I almost forgot how fucking good she is at the damn thing. It's been rough. Having to hide from what's going on from everyone else, mostly because we're doing a really bad job at it. Damien and Liz are almost constantly walking on eggshells with us, and it's a little annoying. But it's not like we can really do anything about it. Vandy and Sophia do know what we're going to be doing, though. Mostly because it'd be weird if Scalar just showed up to our house and swept us away while we're wearing funeral attire. Then buy something that doesn't look like funeral attire, you gormless man! There are ways of obfuscation available to you. Over the school week, I've been seeing Ben and Mia mingling together again. During lunch and all that. And Lunar and Kiara would normally be sitting with them, it's just them. Makes me wonder if they finally got sick of her. Because those two seem to be less friends with her, more like cronies. When they lost their boss, they need to be corralled anew. I kinda gotten used to Ben sitting with us while she was at Reef City. But even so, our uneasy truce... But even with our uneasy truth, there's not a chance in hell about that Crimson cunt sitting with us too. I don't think she wants that either, though, to be fair. Still, though... You keep saying though. I know, right? I love contradictions. I love saying but and though and however. But at least space them out. Watching the two interact, there's a different vibe coming from them. Used to be she would have this queen bitch look about her while Ben sort of hovered at her side. Unless she still has that smug aura that I fucking despise. It's been tempered into something less immediately great. Plus, I catch them doing lovey-dovey things more often. Like leaning into each other, holding hands, and all that disgusting bullshit. Don't we do that on a daily basis? It's disgusting, and I vomit at myself in the morning. I look in the mirror and ask myself, who the hell do you think you are, Dorian? You started kissing girls? A real man only makes out with men so that he doesn't get cooties. That's gay. It's manly. Seems like they're really trying to make it work. Good. Maybe Ben could straighten her out now that she doesn't have a head up her own ass. I don't really have the desire to think about her any further, though. Yesterday I went back to the hospital to get a checkup on my hand, and they deemed it suitable enough to have the cast taken off and replaced with a splint, which I'm immensely grateful for. Way less itchy. I could take it off to shower, and I could actually use the hand to do shit with. It's still tender as fuck for sure. But wrapped to Jesus, the freedom is unmatched. Having my dominant hand back is nice too. But hey, I spent the time using my left hand for But hey, the time I spent using my left hand for everything, and part of me would have sort of ambidexterity, so that's not how fast or how well that works, man. Bah. I'm just thinking about dumb shit, trying to ignore the rising sense of dread pervading me. Maybe you were always just ambidexterous, you just never figured it out. That's way more likely. But don't let me piss on your potato. It's the day of the funeral. Olivia and I, okay, we need some sad music for this. Hold on. I hate the song. The fact that it just immediately drops the piano on you. There's gotta be something here that works. Pissed? There's a pissed theme? When the hell does that even play? I don't even remember. People are spinning. What's with my ear? Just like there's a hair in there. This'll do. The day of the funeral. Olivia and I are both feeling the squeeze. For one, it's cold as fuck. Like, genuinely freezing. I'm not sure the big coat and scarf I bought will be enough, but thankfully the service will be... I mean, they're mostly dinosaurs, right? As for me, my brain's going haywire. I've been managing to keep myself from freaking out all week, but now that the day is here, I'm just a goddamn missing neurosis. Meds have definitely been helping, though, but only just. It hasn't been long enough for them to work their magic yet, but, you know, every bit counts. As the school day drags on, all the shit around me feels suffocating. The ticking clock on the wall, the idle chatter of the classmates in the background. It's because you're anticipating. You need it to happen. It needs to happen now. Ah! Olivia's sitting next to me in art. Please use uppercase for class names. It's a proper name. Staring out the window. Her fingers keep twitching it against the desk like she wants to be Peyton and said, "Hey, I get it. Distractions are a godsend right about now. But me? I'm stuck in my own fucking skull. Scrabbling fruitlessly against the familiar pressure that makes me want to scream and punch something. Scream. Anything to let it out. But I can't. Not right now. My nails dig into the underside of the desk, trying to ground myself in the sensation, but fuck. It's not enough. It never is. I'm slipping again. Feeling that anger bubbling under the surface like it always does. A 10-ton weight pressing down on me that I can't seem to shake off. Why? Why this day of all days? Why on the day of my daughter's wedding? Olivia catches. Jesus, we're having a lot of big descriptive blocks, huh? Like you're allowed to maintain pacing through structure. You don't have to cram everything in big paragraphs, man. Olivia catches me staring at the clock for the millionth time and nudges me with her elbow. She doesn't say anything, just gives you this look that says that she knows exactly what I'm feeling. She's been quiet today, too, but it's not a usual silence. Heavier. I mean, she does talk a lot more as the game goes on, so... Like, there's too much to say, but not enough words for it. There will never be nobody enough to describe what we feel. Again, your relationship to Yatacon is kind of weird. Like, he showed up as a fucking force ghost for you. Every fucking minute feels like a year. I try to keep my mind busy, focusing on Olivia's painting or thinking about mundane things like how my hand feels in the splint, but nothing sticks. The truth is, I'm scared. Fucking terrified, even. I don't even know how to fucking process it. I'm scared of what the funeral's gonna do to me. Scared of seeing people cry. Scared of crying myself. I know it's stupid. I've cried in front of plenty of people, but there are people I could trust. Most of all, I'm scared of losing it. Of letting out that anger in a place that it doesn't belong. Where it can't be allowed to exist. But when does that ever stop my fucked up brain? I can already tell I'm gonna have to put that Xanax to the test today. I have to keep it close on hand, because there's a good chance I'm gonna need it. Let's go with Stargazer. I think that one worked pretty well. By the time lunch rolls around, it's like my body's moving on autopilot. I go through the motions, pick up my food without tasting it, and try to stay present. But everything's blended together like I'm stuck in a bad dream I can't wait to fuck up from. Lydia's next to me, barely touching her food either, head propped up on her hand. Every now and then she glances at me, her eyes scanning mine as if she's checking to make sure that I'm okay. Well, I'm still here. Damien and Liz don't say much. Damien's doing that thing where he acts like he's got something to say but doesn't know how to say it, and Liz keeps giving me these looks. Like she's afraid I'm gonna explode any second. Maybe I am. It's this constant tension between my muscles. It's electricity humming under my skin. I can feel it every moment, every breath. Like it's waiting for the right moment to snap. That's a little better of a description. There we go. I hate it. I hate it. When the bell rings for the final class today, I can't help but feel a sick sort of relief. One more class, then I'm out. Out of the suffocating school, out of these fluorescent lit hallways. Out of the eyes that feels like they're constantly watching, waiting for me to break. But once there, it's just a few more hours, and yeah, fuck. Till it's here. Thought I'm gonna handle seeing the coffin. Oh, wait. I mean, is it an open coffin event? The thought alone makes my chest tight. Stiatacon's gone. Words keep repeating in my head, but they don't feel real. How can they? How's that even possible? The man saw something in me that no one else did. I feel like maybe I wasn't a lost cause. He's gone. I feel like if you really wanted to hammer this core idea home, You flash forward, right, to after the funeral. He sort of pseudo blacks out. Like, he doesn't talk about it in the past tense. It's all reflection. Because in the moment, he was doped up on Xanax. He was fucked out of his mind. And he wonders if he did the right thing taking it. I don't know. There's something you can do here to really ham up a last-minute climax. Like, set up a final big bazaar. There are options here for, you know, screwing with him one more time. Like, the real test, and he doesn't make it, and he needs to prove it to himself. I don't know. I could barely concentrate in history class. Because it's like, because of Brockling, there's like 2 classes you're allowed to have in this. It's either the class with the Atacon or the class with Brockling. And I don't count PE. But yeah, I feel like if you're going to talk about this stuff, like, time is starting to become warpable. Like, he's just at the funeral instantaneously. He's like, on autopilot, I wasn't paying attention, I'm here now. And I don't know what to say. Like, the moment is gone. The reality is here, and I'm not ready. I like that idea. That's kind of a fun thing about the game, is that because it flash forwards through a lot of stuff, because in Wani, you really see a couple of things over the course of several months, is that when the Atacon dies, it does kind of come out of nowhere, because we really haven't done all that much with him in context. Oh well. Thankfully, Brockling doesn't seem to mind. Maybe she knows, maybe Scalar told her, maybe she's just being nice, I don't know. My mind's spinning, racing in circles I can't control. I catch Olivia sneaking glances at me from her seat in front of me, the expression more serious than usual. It's like she can feel the storm brewing inside of me. She's just waiting for it to break. For me to break. The bell rings. And for a moment, I just sit there. Everyone's packing up, chatting, laughing. Why the fuck can they be so normal right now? How can they not feel this? Did they all just forget about him already? The world feels wrong. Like it's still turning when it should have stopped. Like something monumental happened, but no one else noticed. It irks me. Really badly. You know, there's a show called As the World Turns. That's not the time, Seffi. Listen, I can be serious at funerals, but this is a fictional funeral, so... Olivia waits for me at the door. Neither of us need to say anything. Neither of us needs to say anything to know we're both dreading the same thing. With every sigh, I pull myself out of the chair and walk towards her, feeling like each step drags me closer to something I'm not ready for. We stop by Scalar's office, and after knocking at the door, she gives us a cover and hold the door open. For Olivia, she wheels inside and I follow after slamming. I really do feel, in writing, it's really easy, right? Okay, let's pause the music. In writing, it's really easy to go for, let's protract and elongate a scene by adding more words. But I feel the opposite is, like, often forgotten, is the power of just, and then you're there, and the reader is disoriented. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to fast forward and make the reader wonder what the hell happened, and have someone reflect on things and go, like, you know, that's what happens at ending 1 of Wani, and it feels so interesting. Like, Anon fast forwards to this blur in his life. And I don't mean that. I mean, like, in this moment. Up to the funeral. We're just at the funeral. That's how his day went. Is he doesn't even remember. He doesn't want to think about it. He can't think about it. And it doesn't, like, the big thing is there's a difference between a flash forward and what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this punctuation mark of, like, time just going through your hands like water and sand. Gone. And there's nothing you could have done. Because all you're doing is dreading and waiting, but time goes on no matter how much you dread and wait. And you're just there now. Oof. Which, again, isn't really stuff like what he does, no. No, they all pretty much stick to the schedule. Even the flash forward, the zip forward, the time skip we get with ending 1 really isn't the same. It isn't meant for that, at least. Because we still get a perfectly decent layup and introduction. Scalar looks miserable, but she manages a sad smile for us as I sit down and Olivia wheels away next to me. How are you both doing? The question hangs in the air like a lead weight, if there's anything I can really answer. A glance at Olivia, who just stares down at her lap, fingers fidgeting slightly against the armrest of a wheelchair. I can tell that she doesn't want to speak, doesn't trust her voice not to break. So of course that just leaves me. It's because in so many of these fucking stories, Anon, Inko, and you and the main character, whoever the fuck it is, talk the most. The mostest. And it's always the women that are like, no, we can't talk. Sorry, buddy. It's like the thing is, right, at this point, sexism, okay, fair. But my problem, not fair, you know, sexism as like a concept. Sure, I've talked about that. That's what I mean. What fucking cracks me up is, like, I keep going, they couldn't get the voice actor. The reason Olivia does so few line reads is they couldn't hire the person who did her in Wani. Is what goes in my head. It's like, man, it would have been great if we could have had Olivia's original voice actor to do all these lines, and they couldn't. They just couldn't. Oh, cracks me up, the idea of, like, we really want to make a fan work. Good luck getting the actor. actress, I guess, but we're managing. It's about as much of a lie as it is the truth. Scalar nods, heaving out a rattling sigh. She knew Mr. Yadakan too. She works with him. She wasn't just his boss, she cared about him. I could see the grief etched in the lines of her face. Despite how much she's trying to hold together for us, she speaks slowly. Listen, she's just old, okay? These are just wrinkles. I know today is going to be hard, but it's important to remember you're not alone in this. It meant a lot to all of us. That's what a funeral is people that matter show up! That's literally how funerals work. Her words are calm, measured, like she's trying to soothe something wild inside of me. It's not working, though. The storm in my chest is still there growing. I don't know how long I can keep it from breaking loose. Olivia, listen. So something I realized about this, right, is, Dee and Olivia both lost their moms? I mean, Olivia's mother is more in flux. It's more hypothetical, but they both lost their moms, and now they lost their adopted metaphorical dad. Damn. Can you imagine, right? I imagine that Scalar knows. And, like, I was gonna comment, right? There was a thought in my head of, these are teenagers and they probably haven't been to a funeral before. And then I realized, technically both of them might have been. But in another situation, if it was with Inko, like, Scalar should have definitely brought up, like, how funerals work for Inko so that he doesn't fuck it up like a gormless fool. You know what I mean.
He always said that art was a way to make sense of things.
She swallows, eyes glistening, like it's clear she's fighting a war to keep herself together.
But nothing about this makes sense. Nothing about losing him feels right.
That's because thematically he should be alive. The themes of the story are such that Dee redeems himself by having you make up with the Yadakan. Because he already lost his mom in such a way. He's like, listen, I know that you might think that Yadakan, you made a big whoopsie and Yadakan thinks you're dumb, but you need to make up. You need to live those moments. And that's how he learns to be empathetic and calm down and you know, that's a theme that could have been there. Now, considering I'm talking about themes instead of just the writing, and the fact that eyebrows aren't getting cocked every 5 fucking minutes, I think we'll get to that when I get to my feelings about this, but getting better is the right way to describe it. I reach over and squeeze her hand gently. She let out a soft little noise, almost like a whimper, and it wrenches my heart. Scalar reaches out as well, puts a hand on her shoulder. I thought it was behind her desk. That's a hell of a reach. Literally. But I do feel that the story, it would have been different. Like, it just, sticking to the plot, you know, sometimes gets in the way, because sometimes you discover along the way that actually this character has a whole different story to tell, and that doesn't work with that. I mean, maybe Yadakan shows up as a fucking force ghost at his funeral. Fuck yeah, let's get paranormal. Heat moves are real and ghosts exist. Wow. It doesn't make sense. Not yet. It might not ever make sense either. But that's why we have each other. To help carry the weight that feels unbearable. The sentiment is nice, but it doesn't take the steel knot of anxiety twisted in my stomach. I glance at the clock again, my knee bouncing restlessly. I fucking hate sitting there. Fucking hate this small room with its warm tones and fake shitty plants. Shitty fake plants? Like everything's pretending to be fine when nothing is. I want to leave. I want to run. But there's nowhere to go. So instead I want to scream. Break something over my knees. Like, you should probably take your Xanax, man. Like, this feels like why they gave you the Xanax. Scalar seems to sense my tension because she stands up and grabs her coat off the rack to help in the room, speaking to us as gently and soothingly as she can muster. I'll give you both a minute to gather yourself. When you're ready, we'll head out. As she walks out, she closes the door behind me. The silence between me and Olivia feels suffocating. Neither of us moves, or talks, or does anything. We just sit there. The weight, constantly the weight. It's so heavy! You skip leg day. Coming down on us both. My hand twitches, instinctively reaching for the bottle in my pockets. Now or never, man. It's better fucking work. I fumble with it, slipping it out and popping it open. I flick a Xanax in the mouth and swallow it. Ugh! It tastes like shit, bitter and assault on my senses, but I don't care. I don't even care if Olivia's watching. But she is. She only speaks after a long pause.
You okay?
Her voice is soft and hesitant, but still, you know, like sandpaper. I don't blame her. Her voice tightens. I can barely croak out an answer. That pill left my mouth feeling foul. I am very glad that this fucking story doesn't do the thing that so many stories do, where it's like, medication is bad! It makes you someone else. Like, I know that there is merit to the idea of, like, being at a funeral and regretting not being your clearest self so you could most clearly, you know. But also, this man probably would have killed someone at the funeral if he wasn't medicated, so. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Here's something weird, right? When I click away, the text does turn gray for you. No, but I'm trying.
Me too.
We sit in silence for a little while longer. Just existing in the same space, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do and to face what's ahead of us. After what feels like an eternity, I stand up, my voice coming out far gruffer than I intended. Let's get this over with. Olivia doesn't take any offense to it, thankfully, and wheels herself over to the door. We head out into the hallway where Scalar awaits, already bundled up in her coat. She looks at us both with the same sad smile that she had the whole time through, but neither Olivia and I can bring ourselves to return it. Not today. The ride to the Payne household to change into our funeral clothes is quiet. Too quiet. The hum of the car engine is the only sound, and even that feels like it's mocking the silence between us. My mind races between 1,000 thoughts, none of them helpful. All I can think about is how much I hate this. Hate the cold. Hate the fact that I'm gonna have to see his coffin. Hate the fact that he's not here anymore to make this sense of the world for us like he always did. My mind is calm now thanks to the pill, but it's not a pleasant calm. I can tell it's artificial. A thin barrier holding back the riptide of agonizing and torturous thoughts that I'll have to deal with later. I mean, I know what he's going for with this. I know that vibe. We get home. The minute we go inside, the warm hits like a wall. It's like a sharp contrast. I mean, it's because dinosaurs just crank up the heat, man. Sophia greets us warmly from the kitchen, a voice barely above a whisper. Jesus fucking Christ, I've seen that line too many goddamn times. She knows why we're here, and there's a heaviness in the air, like even the walls are holding their breath for us. Neither of us waste any time. We step into a room, and I grab my outfits from the closet and enter the bathroom to change. Feels weird, robotic almost, going through the motions of getting dressed for a funeral. As I stand in front of the mirror and adjust my coat, I barely recognize the person staring back at me. He's hollow, tired, barely holding it together. Maybe it's because he is. I also remember, like, it's very faint, which is probably why I didn't recall it earlier. I remember getting writing advice from someone once, or maybe they were just talking. Point is, they were like, you should never kill a character unless it is the only option. I don't know if that applies here. That's not what I'm saying. He did say with a significant degree of conviction that you should never kill a character unless you know what you're doing. And you know exactly what you're doing. Because death is such a universal and powerful experience that dropping it on someone is like, you need to be ready. You know? A utilitarian death undermines the tone of your story no matter what it is. My hand shakes as I fumble with my sweater, trying to tuck it into my slacks. Feel a surge of frustration rising in my chest. Such a stupid thing to get mad about, but the brain is just looking for excuses to snap. I have to force myself to take a breath, step back, try again. Eventually I get it right. But the weight of my chest doesn't lift, because nothing feels right. I walk out of the bathroom, back into the hallway where Olivia's waiting for me in a chair. She's in the outfit I bought, her hair pulled back in a low ponytail. In any other circumstances, I would have said she looked gorgeous, but she does, but it's just different. Her eyes meet mine, and we don't need words to understand each other. We're both moving through this day like we're in someone else's skin. I ask a question. Before they leave my mouth, they feel hollow. You ready? Neither of us is ready for this. Not really. She nods, and we both make our way through the front door. Scalar's waiting in the car, keeping it warm. I help Olivia into the back seat and get a chair, put her away in the trunk, and once we're all settled in, Scalar helps us on our way. The drive to the funeral home, for some reason I'm like old people home, was just as quiet as the one before. Now there's a different weight in the air. Impending sense of finality. Man, I know the feeling you're talking about, man! That's why I don't kill characters. Unless you have to. I can feel my muscles tense every mile we get closer to the funeral. I wonder if Olivia's feeling the same. She'd always been better at hiding it than me. I glance at her, but the worry in her eyes clear. Closer we get, harder it is to breathe. My chest tightens, and I feel that familiar rush of anxiety crawling up my spine. The Xanax is barely holding me together at this point. It's all cracks and crumbles, duct taped over. More duct tape than shards, really. My jaw clenches as I try to focus on anything but the weight! Listen, just tell us if you're feeling fat today. There's so much weight. We pull into the parking lot of the funeral home, and I'm met with the overrealization that this is real. There's no turning back now. No turning back now. I step out into the cold and pull my coat tighter around myself, wishing it would somehow protect me from the emotion swirling inside. No, the coat's on the outside, not the inside. But it doesn't. I get Olivia's chair for her and help her into it. She's quiet, eyes downcast as we head inside. The warmth of the funeral home hits me, but it feels artificial, forced. Like it's trying to comfort us, but failing miserably. Yeah. Yeah. People already gathered, talking in hushed voices, and I can see the coffin in front of the room. It's open. Even from here, I can see him lying there, and it sends shards of ice across my spine, my heart, my everything. So, fuck, man. I need a moment. I'm gonna need a moment. Oh, they are playing Stargazer for this part. What an interesting choice. But, I need a moment. Fuck. It hurts so fucking much. Scalar gives us space. Stepping away and sitting with the rest of the St. Hammond faculty. I recognize so many faces, but the funeral home feels like a dreamscape. You know, one that's blurry around the edges, too quiet and heavy in all the wrong ways. Everything is distant and muted, and the room is full of people, but they might as well be ghosts. Did this man go to an actual funeral before writing this? Like, word choice and everything is a little weak for what you're trying to do here, and you're also repeating a bunch of words. But, like, yeah. If that ain't the fucking vibe, man. Woof! Woof! Why is this the last chapter? What I'm going to do? Come on. That's not fair. For the review, that is. It's hard to believe this is real. That we're actually standing here, just a few feet away from the open casket. I don't want to look, but my eyes keep flicking back to it like a fucking car crash I can't rip my gaze away from. Olivia's gripping the armrest of a chair so tightly her knuckles are a different shade. Oh, I missed characters irrationally clenching their fists all the fucking time. I can feel my pulse in my throat, fast and loud, and everything else is silent. It's like the world has gone underwater and I can only hear my own heartbeat thudding in my ears. The faces around us, family, students, teachers, they all blur together into a mass of indistinct expressions. Grief, confusion, quiet sorrow. But even through the haze, I spot someone at the front of the room. Someone I had never seen before, but I can place immediately. Miss Diadacon's wife, an angelic-looking tarot woman. Why do you say almost? Why almost? Are you afraid of blasphemy? Jesus! He's in a dreamscape. Just call her angelic. With shining golden feathers. A star con... Like... Okay, listen. No. Go away, music, for a minute. Here's a writing tip for you. Write with conviction. Okay? If you are in an emotionally strong scene, no almosts, no merrilies, no barrilies, fucking commit. Hit me. If you almost, that's pulling a punch. I can feel that draft on my cheek. I want you to fuck me up in this moment. Commit. Make it hard. When you say almost, or barely, or you hold back, it better be fucking important. Okay? Oh, we're doing this again? She's almost motherly. You know, she's not quite there. I don't think... When I think almost right, it always feels like they're failing. She's not good enough. She doesn't deserve it. She can't be motherly or angelic. It feels accusatory. Which isn't the fucking emotion he's going for. So let's try again. Also, you might notice that the flow is a lot better if you don't fucking hang on words the whole damn time, but whatever. Miss Diadacon's wife, an angelic-looking tarot woman with shining golden feathers. A stark contrast to the black mourning veil that obscures her features. And the black inkiness of a dress. Don't describe a dress as inkiness.
Just describe it as the black ink of her dress. Inkiness is a little bit of a silly word. Her face is pale and drawn. The handkerchief pressed on her eyes as she weeps quietly. She's surrounded by people trying to comfort her, but it feels so fucking hollow. You're not the one being comforted, man. It's really easy to judge that from afar. How could anyone possibly say that makes any of this okay? Nothing. There's nothing. Suddenly she swivels her head and looks at the two of us. She excuses herself from the crowd gathered around and steps towards us. Taking a shaky breath as she draws near, willing to let herself speak. Or willing herself to speak. Her voice is soft, gentle, sweet, motherly. And it drives a dagger into my head listening to it. Because his mom is dead! Which is the point. Do you get it? The contrast? He's at a funeral, and instead of his dad being there to comfort him, it's the mom! I say that in farcicalness, but that's because my own emotions are getting a little high. Sorry. When I'm confronted with emotions, I turn into a weirdo! Which admittedly is most of the time as it is, but that's because I'm sleepy. It's my means of dealing with it. But like, say what you want, but the original game does kind of skirt a lot of the vibes when you get down to it. Again, I thought his wife, he is a man and she is the wife, was dead. Her husband? No, his wife, Yadakan's wife, was dead. Which is why he had the pen or something. I don't fucking know. You too. You must be Olivia and D. I feel like she should have said Dorian, if anything. Seems like an Yadakan thing to do. There's a moment where I don't know what to say. My throat tightens, my mouth dry. Olivia beside me looks up at the woman, her voice drawn tight with grief and the weight of all the things she's been holding inside. Psycho stops for a second when she meets the gaze of Mr. Yadakan's wife. Her name is Mrs. Yadakan! It's just Mrs. Yadakan. MRS. Although I think, if you're a widow, are you still Mauritius, or does it become like MS? Time to look up titles. MS is used regardless, but that's basically just miss. Okay, so yeah, Doctor is gender neutral. Those woke scientists! Wait. I said that because I was like, surely in Dutch there's like a... Hold up! Calm this. Now I'm curious. But is it masculine? God, I love the alternative term for doctor is geneesheer, which could be read as healing lord. I am the Lord of Healing. Praise be the healing Lord. Okay, so the nouns are masculine, so you would use he regardless of context, unless you know that it's the other one. But they themselves do not have gendered alternatives. Where would I find that anyway? Artsberoep, chirurgijn, Jesus. Zenuwarts, nerve doctor. Doesn't that have, like, gendered alternatives? Like, surely there are gendered alternatives to Healing Lord! Unless the etymology doesn't trace like that. That's actually possible. Hold up. Spuitgast. Oh. Vraag en antwoord voor de slimme spreker. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, D and dare. Nobody in fucking Dutch knows about dare or weird. Nobody knows them. They'll teach you that, but nobody knows. German can jump out a window. We're doing it old style, and then I start throwing some sick signs. I don't think Secretaris. Because I know that one as an alternative. Secretaressa. Yeah. Okay, so this... No, I don't want to look up the word wait. I want to look up the word secretaressa. Because on this page, it's used for things. Okay, yeah, so as far as I can tell... yeah, it would have been under there, and it isn't. A doctor is a doctor. Well, I guess I learned something today, as my emotions are basically trying to run away from here as far as I can. It's like the world stops the second when we meet the gaze of Mrs. Yatakan, the person who probably knew him best, who loved him the most. Actually, probably is a bad one, Saf. You just complained about this. She's standing in front of us, wings folded delicately behind her, the gold of her feather muted under the veil of morning. How do you fail with wings? It's so annoying to deal with. She knows us. Of course she does. I mean, yeah, you mentioned that, right? Didn't, like, Scalar mention that she mentioned you? Yeah, Yatakan probably spoke about Olivia to her plenty of times. But me? He told her about me? Me? The thought hits me hard, knocking the wind out of my lungs. She knows who we are because we mattered to him. Because we were important to him. I could feel Olivia stiffen next to me, and coming up to her mouth like she's trying to hold back whatever words they're trying to claw away out of her throat. Of course, I need to talk because I'm the man in this conversation, and we can't afford Olivia's voice actor for more than a couple of cameo lines, despite her being the love interest. Yeah, it's us. Tara woman looks between the two of us, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. And I can tell she's searching for something to say. Something that might make this better. But there's nothing that could. Not really. I mean, this woman is probably like 30, 40, considering Yatakan's age. Maybe 20 if he really married young. But the thing worth pointing out is, like, she looks at a couple of teenagers, like people half her age-ish or near, and it's like, what do you even say to those people who probably have never been to a funeral? Because Scalar probably knows about Dee's mother, but this woman, maybe if Yatakan told, that feels a little too tangential for him to just bring up. He spoke of you often. He was proud of you. You meant the world to him. Those words hit harder than I expected to. There's another lump in my throat. It's like a punch to the gut, hearing that from her, knowing that despite everything, he was still proud of us. Proud of me. My hands trembled, and I clenched them in the fists at my side, trying to stop the shaking, trying to keep it together. I could feel my injured hand aching dully from the pain. And it's like everything I've been holding back is crashing down on me all at once. Olivia's breathing shakily next to me, and I could see her fingers flexing and curling around the edges of a wheelchair. She's barely holding it together. For a second, I think she's gonna lose it. She looks up at the woman, voice barely a whisper. We miss him. So much. The woman's face crumples at that, and for a moment it looks like she's gonna fall apart right in front of us. But instead she reaches out and gently puts a hand on Olivia's shoulder. I know, sweetheart. I know. I miss him every second. The weight of her grief is palpable. It makes the air between us thick and suffocating. It's like the entire room narrowed down to just the three of us, standing there in a shared moment of loss. Olivia's face contorts. Composure starting to crack as her eyes glisten. She lets out a choked sob, trying to hide it behind her hand. I feel like I'm suffocating. Yes, because the air just turned suffocating. Like the air is being punched out of my lungs in the storm I've been trying to keep at pace. You've already mentioned the storm. You've already mentioned the literal punch in the gut that's up here. You already mentioned that the air is suffocating. Like, if you're going for a repeat record, be overt about it and make it super obvious that's what you're going for. Otherwise, it feels like you ran out of words, at which point just wrap it up, buddy. You don't have to be there longer than you can stick around. I can't cry. I won't cry, not here, not in front of everyone. But I can't stop it. The emotions are too much. The grief, the anger, the loss. It's all there swelling in my chest. And I'm fighting it with everything I have. Before I know it, the terror woman's reaching out to me too. A warm hand resting on my shoulder. The touch is gentle. But it feels like it's gonna break me apart. It's okay. A whisper so soft, so kind. You don't have to be strong right now. It's okay to grieve. I can feel the walls I built up. Get with the fucking walls.
I built up over the past few years, starting to crumble. Olivia sobs beside me. The weight of the woman's chest, the funeral, the coffin, him. It's all too much. I grip my teeth. My jaws clenched so tightly it hurts. But I can't stop the tears from pricking the corner of my eyes. She then pulls us both into a hug, her wings curling around us like a protective cocoon. It's warm, soft, and suffocating. Suffocating! Suffocating! Word of the day is suffocating. I mean, there aren't a lot of good ones for this, I guess, but that's why you want to mix it up. I can hear her own sobs. Her own sobs? They're just her sobs! I can hear her sobs now. It's like the dam finally burst. My body trembles, tears slipping out before I could stop them, and I hate it. I hate that I'm crying. I hate that I'm in. I hate that he's gone. Why? Well, if you're wondering why you hate that you're crying, it's because the vast majority of men are told not to show their emotions, and that crying is a spot of weakness because it's a woman thing to cry. Which means the vast majority of men associate crying with some loss of social status, like they've disappointed everyone around them. So they just turn into miserable, horrible people to compensate. That's what people are talking about when they talk about patriarchy hurting men, you dumb idiot. And I slap him on the back of the head. And then I run out of the room because I'm all oh. Like, you stand at a funeral, right? You stand over the coffin, and you're like, man, that coffin's a lot smaller. I remember him being bigger. I don't know half of these people. I'll probably never see half of these people ever again. I was right about that. I mean, did I know him well enough? Did I know him well enough to cry? Because these people, right? They knew him way better than I did. They knew him so much better. Lived in the same place. Probably saw him on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I saw him when? Once a year? And now I'm standing here. I'm supposed to be a big, strong man who doesn't cry, right? I should be better than that. I don't deserve it. Those people do. They were there for the rough spots. They saw him wither away to nothing. They saw a jubilant, strong man get turned into a carcass hooked up to hoses. Slowly but surely, shrinking into nothing. Suffocated by his own body. Strangled by the meat in his throat. They saw that. I saw him, like, what? Once? Was I even in his thoughts in those final moments? Should I even be here at this funeral? I wasn't even there for long. Was too far to stick around for a while.